And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it is Sunday. It is the Sunday before the Sunday of Christmas as we record this. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. I can't believe it's already that time, man. Like they always do, this Christmas has just totally caught me off guard. I think I've gotten most of my presents, though, so I feel pretty accomplished in that sense. But doing well. So happy to be with you, Brad. And I want to hear about how you're doing, how the fam is probably anticipating Christmas, how school is going. Just 1 hour of straight Brad updates, and then maybe we'll get to wrestling talk.
Let's start with grade books. Tyler, technology can go kick rocks. This was a rough week technologically as our grade book management system crashed on Tuesday and did not come back until Friday at 9:30 p.m. Next week is the last week of the semester, and my kids were freaking out. So was I, frankly, because I put in about 9 hours of grades and they were all gone. 9 hours worth of actual grade book entry, not grading that I did for 9 hours. And total overall. And I thought it was only 6. It was actually 9 when I looked. It deleted a different assignment as well. So I was a little afraid that I was going to have to go, no pod this week, just grading. That's going to be my life. So excited for the end of the semester. My kids are doing presentations. It's pretty easy for me. It's a coast, but it's valuable. They're great. Freya is pumped. Santa's coming to the town. Right now, they're going to get stuff. Jess and Freya are out going to, I believe, Roma Imports in Tucson to scoop a lasagna for Christmas Day for our dinner, to make it an easy dinner. And also hopefully a sandwich for me for after we're done with this.
We love to see it. Look at that.
Yeah. I've been like trying to get creative. I'm painting. It's not great, but it's a thing that I'm doing. And it's just different. I think you know me well enough to know that I'm never really satisfied with anything. It's always like, it could be better. It could be better. It could be better, which makes it really hard when it's permanent painting things where I'm like, I'm really not happy with this. I can't just like wipe it and start over. So that's been a bit of an ordeal around here. But like you, Christmas presents have been purchased for a while. We are more behind on cards, and we're contrary to what I promised. You're not getting cookies this year, my friend. We are
coming hot out the gate at the not even 3 minutes in, and the truth is
there has not been a single cookie baked. We have just been way too busy. I have all of the stuff to make it. Nothing's made. I'm gonna try tonight, so maybe I'm a liar. Maybe you'll get a nice Christmas surprise. You will be getting a card. We're picking those up today. Those are made. We were waiting to the last second, which is why we got behind, because we knew Freya was going to drop another tooth, and we wanted to wait for the 2 front teeth.
You beat me
gimmick.
to it. That is one of the takeaways from this episode. Freya has officially lost her second tooth.
Yes, it's great. And yesterday she had a birthday party. Happy birthday to Brindley Kornacki. We were at the park, and I saw Brindley is missing her top teeth. Freya lost her bottom front tooth. So it was a great combination. They had like a noisemaker thing. They were running around playing it, and they both were able to just sort of tuck it in between their teeth and gum it in various different ways. It was kind of hilarious.
I love it.
But yeah, lots of tooth fairy action happening around the Marana area.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And going back to what you said about presentation week for students, I used to love that, especially a class where you knew it was a super respectful group. And not only a respectful group who will sit and watch and listen to a presentation, but one that's like very supportive and kind of community oriented, where they really uplift each other, because that makes our job so easier. You also kick back, you have your criteria, obviously, in your rubric and whatnot. But I remember those presentation days being so nice, especially for those angelic classes. So it's like, oh, wow, this is great. Like, what is my content goal today? Presentation day.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Nobody can get mad at that. I think students like it. We like it. I know the speaking in front of people part can be, kind of crippling with stress and anxiety for some. Certainly, I wasn't immune to that when I was younger, and even now. Like, I don't know about you, but even now, speaking in front of people, still sort of get those butterflies and whatnot. But yeah, I'm so excited for you, man. You made it to the end of the semester, and I think that's something to be applauded.
Thank you. I appreciate that. One of the things that I did this year was have my freshmen do their English presentations the way that I have my psych kids do their presentations, which they're starting tomorrow. Freshmen already started. I built in an extra minute of transition time because I knew they're freshmen. But like what you said, the really respectful kids, I had them, everybody got a sticky note at their table and we just rotated. They get 2 minutes to present, and then we get 30 seconds for the kids that are listening to the presentation to write something positive to them about what they liked, about what they did or what they learned or what surprised them, just positive feedback. And a bunch of the kids were like, yeah, I was having a bad day. And I pulled out my Post-it notes and it made my whole day better. So those little things matter. And it might not be the most productive thing in the world for like, what can you do to do better on your presentation or on your topic or whatever? You have 2 minutes and this kid, you just went 35 seconds. How is that possible? But getting that feedback anyway, despite you knowing that you had your shortcomings, I think is really, really important. Yeah. They'll remember that. They won't remember the presentation at all.
Yes, but, and when you get the sticky note from that cute girl in second period, like
it's just a phone number.
You're gonna hold on to that for the rest of high school.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. That I think we've all been there where those, like you said, those affirmations are just so paramount at any stage in life, but particularly during your adolescence, because you just often, I think, view yourself as not being enough or not this enough. And you can just really sort of play those mind games. I mean, obviously we're not immune to that as adults, Brad. I think we often don't give ourselves the grace that we encourage others to give themselves. So I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to hear how these presentations go. And like you said, we're rolling into Christmas, a nice break for both of us. And I think it should be pretty glorious.
You know what? The best thing about presenting is the word present. It's almost Christmas. I'm ready for gift number 1, Tyler. Besides your question, we do have gifts coming out. You'll already have seen it at the time that this airs, but we will have 8 days of gifts for you. Tyler, hit me with question 1.
Yeah, man, let's go. So starting with WWE, lots of options here in terms of how I want to start off this episode of GI. We have, in no particular order, Ricochet continuing to be featured prominently on SmackDown, which makes my heart skip a beat. Roxanne Perez's coronation. She's officially champ on NXT, Brad. We called that, but I don't think either of us expected it to be so soon. On the other side of that,
we have this week. That's crazy.
I know. That's
crazy.
Absolutely. On the other side of that coin, though, we have the news about Mandy Rose and her being released from WWE due to content she was posting on her personal site. We also have Bray Wyatt and the surprising revelation that both you and I are kind of meh on the current Bray Wyatt character and storyline with LA Knight. However, I landed on this question. The main event of SmackDown saw John Cena outshine the Bloodline's big moment. It's official, Brad. On December 30th, we will see Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn face Kevin Owens and John Cena. What star power? I know you've seen the rumors and speculation all over the timeline about which matches we could see at April's massive WrestleMania show in LA. I'm going to read you some of these. Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Final 2. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. And of course, Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Out of all of those potential dream matchups, which do you want to see most? Which do you need to see?
That's tough. As far as matches go, I just want to see Gunther always bringing it, right? Like I want to see him working. I think he and Brock could have great chemistry. Gunther needs to win it though, and I don't know that they would have him go over Brock in that scenario. And as if Brock's not working full time, I don't want him being the one to take the belt. He doesn't need it. Like, have it go to somebody else. That the idea of that mid card title is build that person, right? So, yeah, I don't really need to see him win, but I want to see that match. That matchup excites me more than any other, except Rock and Roman, which I think is unquestionably, if that happens, the biggest thing that's happened in WWE in a long time, and that's saying something considering what this year has been. I would say Rock Roman will be. I don't know if you could say it's as big of a story as Stone Cold coming back for a match, but it has to be up there. It has to be close. It's like the thing we need. It makes sense in storyline. It makes sense in real life. I would love to see that. I don't need to see Becky and Ronda unless Becky just beats Ronda, takes the belt, and we never see Ronda again. I'd be kind of okay with that, unless they can change up what Ronda's doing, or she can get more. Ronda needs more experience, I think, as a wrestler. And I think we forget that she never went to the NXT. She never went through the PC. She's doing MMA stuff and being a wrestler instead of being just a wrestler. She's trying to do both, and she's trying to bridge those worlds. And I don't know that she fully has, but she's training. She's obviously skilled and talented, but for whatever reason, it's just never really hitting for me. It either looks fake or it doesn't look believable, even though I know she could probably murder anybody on that roster. So it's really confusing for me, but I would rather see Becky win. I don't know, man. I just don't need the match. Cody Rhodes, John Cena, though, as a wrestling match goes, are you going to find one better on that list? I don't think so. So any of them, I inject any of them into my eyeballs, except maybe Becky Ronda.
Sure.
Becky, somebody else would be great, but I don't know. Becky Ronda doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. I think Bianca Charlotte could absolutely be on the poster for WrestleMania. Those two are just colossal stars.
Yeah, they haven't had a big event match yet, right?
No, I think they wrestled on Raw once, and it may have been a DQ finish or some sort of shoddy ending.
Yeah, that sounds right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be great.
And considering where the fan base is with Charlotte right now, where it seems like a lot of us are really yearning for her. Again, it's this weird thing that we do in wrestling and sports where it's like 1 year Joel Embiid of the 76ers is the most overrated player ever. And then like the next year, oh my gosh, he's the best big man of this generation. It's just this weird, like they love you when they love you one moment, and then when we've had too much of you, we don't like you anymore. So I'm really happy Charlotte's getting her flowers, and I think whenever she comes back, Brad, Royal Rumble, before, after, it's going to be a huge deal. And if you get Charlotte versus Bianca, I don't know if that's main eventing one of these nights, because it seems like Roman could easily take both nights. But if there was a candidate for a non-Roman main event in SoFi Stadium, I think top contender, maybe Becky versus Ronda. But to your point, I would love to see Bianca and Charlotte slotted there. Yeah,
and who knows what happens with Asuka in this new build? Like by WrestleMania season, she might be the hottest thing in the company if they change her up. We have a bunch of women's talent. Xia Li coming back. There's a bunch of women's talent that is out there on the roster right now that could probably get a push and a build that would be enough to headline. But as far as names right now, I don't know that anybody in the women's division is bigger than Bianca Belair right now. Charlotte Flair is a more recognizable name, but Bianca's the biggest star they have, and it's deserved. And it's been really fun to watch her ascension.
Absolutely. And it's possible. Well, let me ask you, is it okay for me to still yearn for a 4 horsewomen WrestleMania main event? I don't know the likelihood, particularly this year, but Brad, I think we need to get Bayley versus Sasha versus Becky versus Charlotte at some point. Now, Sasha seems like she's not going to come back, but if that match never happens at a WrestleMania main event, I think it'll be a really big lost opportunity.
Yeah, they could have done it, but like the people that are coming out of the woodwork to poop on Sasha right now is unbelievable, Tyler. Like comparing her to LA Knight, comparing her to some jobbers, saying that she's not needed in the roster. It's what?
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Yeah, I think it's total clout chasing. Like these people can't really believe that, right?
There's no chance that that's real.
They have eyeballs.
You know damn well that they're going to be buying that New Japan event. I know damn well I am.
You're going to be up at 3 a.m. I know it.
Hell yes, I am. Like Sasha's wrestling. We got that Ospreay Kenny match.
I was just saying they already piqued your interest with the Ospreay versus Omega. I think Sasha just sealed the deal for you.
100%. It wasn't my interest wasn't piqued. I was sold when I saw that it was going to be their first solo match in like 5 years with Kenny and Will, and it's in the Tokyo Dome, and it's, I mean, come on, they're probably going to have like a 45-minute banger.
Is it Nakamura Muda on that card as well, or is that separate?
I don't even know if that's New Japan.
Wow!
Isn't that Noah?
You know, you're my go-to expert on Japan wrestling. I just remember seeing the hype for that. Yeah, I mean, if that's a separate show, I don't know if that makes my wallet happy, but I think that match is going to be must-see too.
Yeah, that's Pro Wrestling Noah.
Dang, man, there's so much content out there.
Yeah.
If only we could add an extra hour to the day. Can we make that possible?
Yes. 28-hour day, please. And I'll be able to watch some of this stuff.
Before we leave my question though, Brad, I guess if possible in 90 seconds or less, Bray Wyatt. I think he'll be featured. Okay, moving on to.
You already asked your question. Stop stealing mine. You do this every week. Stop it.
I'm done. That's the end of my segment. Okay. We went 10 minutes on mine. The floor is yours. I appreciate your response.
Bray Wyatt is how I'm starting this question. Bray Wyatt had a segment with LA Knight. It was certainly something that happened. So I was really hopeful for this segment, Tyler. LA addressed Bray by saying he's sick of being attacked and go ahead and go back there, get any mask, any costume. I know it's been you. He said it's been taking forever, ever since you've been back, blah, blah, blah. And then Bray came out and basically acknowledged the same things, other than it wasn't me that was attacking. It seemed to be very self-aware that, my God, this is taking forever. The woe is me. I'm so happy to be back. I'm grateful speeches felt a little bit CM Punkish when he returned, where it was like every week, I'm just so happy to be wrestling again, until he was eating Mindy's muffins and cutting down his coworkers publicly. Bray's not going to do that. We know LA Knight's not going to do that, probably. I think this has been, I'm glad they're paired together. I think it's perfect. A perfect pairing. I love it. It's taking forever. So I have two parts here. A, when does this feud finally come to a head, and what is the outcome? And B, do you consider the Wyatt gimmick since his return a success or a failure?
So happy you asked this question. A, Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt wins. B, success or failure? I'm leaning towards success. That moment at Extreme Rules is going to be, I think, at the top of our favorite things of the year, right? It was massive. It was cathartic to see him walk through that door and reappear on our TV screens. Yeah. But to your point, since then, I don't know that I would say it's a success. It's a success because he's back, and if he's happy, that checks all the boxes for me. But storyline wise, as much as I enjoy LA Knight, the Bray Wyatt character isn't quite hitting the same notes it did for me when he was Mr. Rogers and The Fiend. I don't know exactly what's missing. I don't know if it's the slow burn that you alluded to. Maybe I'm just a bit impatient these days. But the reveal, if we can call it that, of Uncle Howdy in the flesh, I didn't really get excited about that. I remember being stoked for Huskus the Pig Boy and Mercy and all those different characters. But now when we got this reveal of Howdy, I was just like, oh, this is kind of silly. And I don't know. It just reminds me of the Spirit Halloween store and the aisle I would just walk past. It didn't do anything for me. I was kind of, they say in wrestling, the worst, as a performer, the worst, I guess, response you can get is no response.
Yeah.
Right. And I felt a bit apathetic to this whole segment, Uncle Howdy coming out. So I'm going to lean towards success, Brad, because we still have the Royal Rumble. We still have a new year of Bray Wyatt looming. But man, I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't feeling a bit apathetic about where he's at right now. How about you?
So I thought I told you this before. Excuse me. Good, coughing into the mic. Embrace the mess. I told you this before. I watched that and I thought, this is some high school theatrical production bullshit. The fog, the pop that Uncle Howdy got when he came out, awesome. He did the little tip of the cap, which I feel like is maybe they're laying it on pretty thick. I'm not really sure who Bray Wyatt is right now. I think the difference between the Fiend and what he is now is the Fiend. We knew clearly who he was. He's he's got an alter ego, the demon clown from hell. That's probably literally a demon from hell. And Mr. Rogers, we know that character. It's not hard to figure out what that is. What is he right now? He's just Bray Wyatt, but he's just Bray Wyatt. And also there's this other thing happening. It should be compelling, but it's not, because I think we're waiting too long to find out, well, what is this thing that's happening? If we didn't have to wait that long to figure out what is this thing that's happening, I think we would be a lot more invested. Unfortunately, right now, we don't really know what's going on. It looked to me as though whoever was out there, probably Bo, I would imagine, is wearing makeup and had it wasn't the mask. It was Uncle Howdy. It was not the Uncle Howdy mask. So why did they do the dumb pre-recorded laughter? Slap a mic on his face. This isn't that difficult.
You got your budget's a little healthier than the local high school's theater.
Absolutely.
Production. Yeah,
absolutely crazy to think that this didn't happen, right? Like, this is how I
know it's missing for me. Maybe I'll turn it around, but I so agree with you. I wish I were more invested, and it's not right now.
It sucks. I like you. I think Bray probably wins, and I think it's probably the Rumble, the pace that they're going. But what is Bray when he wrestles is the question that I have. How does this make sense in continuity with Alexa? If the Fiend is gone, is she going to come back? So it was Follow the White Rabbit. We very clearly have Uncle Howdy here, who is the Mad Hatter. I mean, it's very clearly an Alice in Wonderland gimmick. I don't know who Bray is in this situation. Is he Alice? Is he something else? Because it's not making a lot of sense to me, because they're not laying it on thick enough for me. Like, you need to spell it out to us, because right now it's confusing. There's some white lights, then there's some yellow lights. You got an absolute banger of a song that's available now. I just don't know what's going on, man. Like, it's really confusing.
It is. Great point about mentioning Alexa. I think a lot of the fan base is really intrigued and want to see where this goes. I'm a little petty, Brad. I am just still scarred by the way it went down the last time at WrestleMania when Randy Orton beat The Fiend after one RKO. Yeah. Alexa has the goo in her mouth. I guess I need to shake getting that image out of my mind and remember, okay, these are two very talented people. I think both probably want to rewrite the end of that story, and it's going to be them reforming would be so much better than how it ended. I just am holding on to the way it concluded last time, which I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah, it was. It left us with a lot of questions, I think, like the Sister Abigail to Bianca and then pulling back from it. We're like, what's going on here? Really, what we're asking is, what happened here? Tyler, we haven't busted this one out in a while, but it's time for a segment that I'm looking forward to, because this story rules. We're going to play the music. It's time for What Happened Here.
What happened here?
Yes, indeed. Here we go. So, speaking of school and wrapping up a semester, this past week we had the graduation, or if you're feeling fancy, the commencement for the Teachers College at ASU and at Arizona State University, in case you're not familiar with the acronym. And so It's much smaller than the spring ceremony. Obviously, the majority of students graduate in May. In December, such a wonderful group of people. Much smaller though. Beautiful ceremony. The story here is that I ended up noticing or seeing two people graduate who I did not expect to be there. So one person earned their doctorate, super smart woman. Met her through working in the dorms or the residence halls at the University of Arizona when I was a student there. So she's just always been good people. Earning her doctorate, I was like, oh my gosh, I recognize that name, I recognize that face. Applause. Like, this is so cool. And then someone else I noticed from my undergraduate days was earning her master's in elementary education. And I saw her face. I was on the other side of the arena, but I saw her face and I was like, okay, I definitely know this person. Like, I was involved in a situationship with this person many years ago. Like, shout out to 2015. So I see her and I know, okay, I know who this person is. I think I'm 98% sure. And then her name is announced. She walks across the stage. And again, that's very exciting. Like, another very, very smart and talented individual. So I just had this moment, Brad, where I knew I was going to have to text you about this, or dare I say, even bring it up on our episode this week. Do you ever have these moments where different parts of your world just converge into the present? Because I had this moment of, okay, this is my current job. This is the biggest day of the semester. And these two people from my past are here. And I didn't even get to say hello to them. I don't know that I needed to, at least for one of them. But I saw these two people and it just brought me back to, oh my gosh, like 2014, 2015. And I was just, I guess, lucky because I think in those moments where, let's say if I would have walked past them or if they were in my row that I was working, I don't know that I'm the most consistent or skilled at how to navigate some of those conversations. Again, the woman with her doctorate, easy peasy, like, that's no problem at all. Other person, hey, I haven't seen you in 7 years. It's great to see you. Love your cap and gown, and congratulations. Wishing you the best with your elementary educator job. Can this resonate with you at all? Have you ever had those moments of you're like, well, what in the world happened here?
Yeah, many times. Almost exclusively in places of businesses, places like Walmart or Shopko, if you're from the Midwest, is what I told you has happened, where it's like, hey, oh, well, hello, person that once appeared outside of my garage door without me knowing that they were there. That was certainly something that happened. I'm a master of finding awkward places, Tyler. So yeah, this has definitely happened. It's never happened at a major formal event like that before.
That you were working. Yeah.
It's never happened at a job site. Yeah, that's definitely something that I've managed to avoid most of my life. I'm sure that sounded like absolute shit. Me knocking on wood probably just sounded like me walking on tons of metal.
Yeah, I respect the intention there.
Apologies. Nah, never mind. I'm not going to apologize.
Never apologize.
Absolutely not. Embrace the mess, people. Embrace the mess. But yeah, it's never happened to me. But not in a setting like that. That's unique and special for you.
Yeah, it was very special. It was a joyous day. But I thought, okay, man, this is going to make for hopefully excellent pod material. And I'm grateful that you are always so kind to indulge me with sometimes my tales of woe, sometimes my what happened here fodder.
Absolutely incredible. Tyler, I know it's not going to be awkward. Well, it might be. We'll see. This conversation we're about to have about AEW this week. I'm ready for your your AEW question.
Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to give you a lot of exposition here, and then I promise to hit you with a question. Hammers, debut upsets, gnarly earring pulls, and anticipated main events. It was a busy week in AEW, Brad. We first met in summer 2016 at Tortolita Middle School's library.
Yeah.
I've learned many facts about you since that day, my friend. You love yourself some pro wrestling. You are a fantastic father, and you are a dynamic educator. You are over like Rover at Miranda High School, and for good reason. I also know that you are particularly partial to two supremely talented wrestlers on the AEW roster, Hikaru Shida and Jamie Hayter. It just so happens that they have a match this Wednesday on Dynamite. I know your anticipation levels must be on turbo right now. Here is my question. Presuming the likely scenario of Jamie Hayter winning, where do both go from here? For example, do we see Shida getting a TBS title match against Jade at some point in the new year? Are we slowly building toward Dr. Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter for the Women's World Championship at March's Revolution show? The floor is yours.
Man, honestly, I don't know. This has been a mystery since Jamie won the championship. I keep thinking about who has next. I'm assuming she's going to beat Cheetah. I don't care because they've been talking Joshi shit to each other. So the Jamie Hayter tweet that I saw you, I saw the GI account retweet, I believe, not you, our intern. I saw that get tweeted out. I also sent it to the one of our group chats, one of our 55 group chats, and it's about how she wants to beat the crap out of Shida, all Japan in the 90s style. I cannot wait because I know it's how both of them like to work. So I know it's just going to be, there's going to be slobber flying everywhere. It might be some blood, hard way blood in this match. I'm not sure. I'm so excited to see them beat the hell out of each other in what's probably going to be a match of the year contender. And we're almost done with the year. And I know it's going to be recency bias, but my guess is that this is going to be on my list. I can't wait for this. So as far as the build, it has to be Brit, right? Like it's going to be
doubt.
Brit.
That has to be the Revolution match.
I don't know. Revolution's too soon, I think.
Really? I thought you would argue it's too late.
It's way too late, but it's AEW. They do the year-long storyline, and they're going to have to build the feud first. I think Revolution is too quick of a turnaround. I would say All Out. All Out seems like it's a long time away. Actually, I take that back. You know what? I don't think it's going to be either of those things. I think it's going to be the St. Patty's Day thing.
Really? The St. Patrick's Day Slam.
That's always Brit's time. We have the death matches there. Maybe that's
Hell in a Cell or the cage match against Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, it was the lights out match 2 years ago, and
right.
then this one last year, the Hell in a Cell style.
Yeah, exactly.
So and I can absolutely see. Actually, take that back. Did Britt drop the belt at that match? I thought she won, and then they had a rematch.
Yeah, I thought she won
in San Antonio.
I thought she won. She won at that pay-per-view, right?
That's
Very
right.
Controversial decision.
That's
then I think it was not the following Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. And I don't know if that was the original plan, but I think largely based on crowd reaction, they said, okay, let's save that for this cage match, Thunder Rosa's backyard. I'm pretty sure that was St. Patrick's Day Slam last year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It
sounds definitely a Dynamite for sure.
Yeah, it sounds right because that initial one was before Thunder Rosa was even on the roster, and then got added to the roster, obviously, and Champ and all of those things happened.
I miss seeing her work. I hope we get her back at some point. I know it was kind of a tumultuous 2022, it would seem, but I really enjoyed when she was at the peak of her powers in the company.
She's a great worker. I love watching her wrestle. It just depends on the locker room, right? We don't really know what the status is there. It seems like there's a lot of
reportedly polarizing, right?
Yeah. So I think maybe a little bit like what CM Punk was to the locker room, that wants to help and wants to have feedback, but when people don't receive it, maybe they don't take it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey,
she has her own promotion and man, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So she makes a lot of sense too for Jamie, because those two will pass out on each other as well.
Yeah.
And
play off the reported heat between each other.
Yeah. And Britt and Thunder Rosa in real life don't like each other, so they've gotten along fine in the ring. They've gone out and been professionals and had their matches. So I don't see why Jamie Hayter couldn't do that as well. I know Thunder Rosa knows how to fight. I don't know if Jamie does, but I wouldn't want to fight her. I wouldn't want to find out. Like, no, thank you. It's kind of the Ty Conti thing, or Ty Mello. Ty Mello, we know she knows how to fight. She is a double black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something.
Incredible. Yes.
Yeah. So there's people on the roster that are legitimate badasses, and I don't know who the person is that steps up, because they built her for that match against, I think it was Thunder Rosa. It might have been Britt. No, it's Britt, right? Where she came out wearing the face paint and she had the braids.
I think that was Jade, actually. She had a pay-per-view match against Jade.
You're
for
right.
the TBS title.
And that was like,
which I was,
around.
Brad, I was just like, Jade versus Ty. I mean,
yeah.
Thank you, Tony. That's a match I would hope to see at some point in my life.
Yeah, and it was great. So they could build somebody really quickly. Athena's currently ROH champ, or I would have said it should be Jamie and Athena, because those two, wow. Ouchie is the word I would use. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know when things are going to change. I don't know what Shida does after this. Sheeta's getting a bit of the Nyla treatment, or the bit of the Lance Archer treatment lately, which is, let's bring them back to fight our champ, but not have them win. You know, we're going to have them murder somebody and then, they'll lose. So all I know is that I cannot wait for this match. Cannot wait. I also can't wait for Shida to be wearing different shoes. Those shoes looked insane with what she was wearing in the ring on Rampage. I was like, those are like absolutely enormous boots you have on there. And I don't know if it's because you're shorter or what, but it not great in the ring anyway. I love her ring gear. What ring gear are you expecting for this, Tyler? Or hoping for?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's got to be something that is very title match. I mean, I would even love to see this in the main event. I don't know.
Got to be pay-per-view main event worthy stuff, right?
Yes. Amen. I don't know off the top of my head how stacked this card is at the moment, but I would have no complaints with, in fact, I would want this women's world title match to main event the show. So pay-per-view gear, please. Even if we expect this to be a losing effort for her, she's not going to come out with gold. I think this is a big look. I think both women are going to deliver to the highest extent. And yeah, Shida's gear is amazing. I would expect fire this week. She
wore that gear not that long ago. That was the first time we ever saw it. I would love to see that. I want the white Hayter gear that she came out to for the Pape. That gear rules so much.
Yes.
Like just the all white, because she was wearing that other gear for so long, and it was like eventually
black, right?
Yeah, the black and like brownish, goldish, orangish color. I don't know what color that was.
Right.
Like dirty orange. I don't know. That might have been orange at one point. She wore that so much in the ring that I don't know. So I was really happy to see it change.
Yeah.
But that white gear was so great. I hope they treat it like the match that it deserves, and it deserves to be treated like a pay-per-view match. So I'll know right away what kind of treatment it's getting based on how they walk out. If they're wearing Pape gear, I'm pumped, because you know it's going to get time. I'm glad it's on the bigger show. I'm glad it's either going to open or it's going to close. I don't think it can do anything else. It has to be those two things, one of those two things, or they're doing a disservice both to the women involved and to the fans. I think. I think most people want to see this as a main event. I would rather have them open, because if they go over, cut it from somebody else, pal. Like I want to see this get the time that it deserves. I would love this to get Bryan Danielson, Hangman Page time, or Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega time. Imagine Shida and Hayter for 60 minutes. I don't know if the crowd would be into it, because the crowds seem pretty lame when it comes to women's wrestling. Not everybody is as big of a fan as you and I are. I feel like if Joshi wrestling promotions were more popular in the States, we would be watching those on the regular. But it's exciting. I'm not even positive I answered your question, but I can't wait for this match. I don't really care what happens after it, to be clear, because I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know who the next line is.
You did answer yes to everything you said. I cannot wait. Wednesday should rule.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Okay, well, I have a question for you, and hopefully you don't ramble as long as I just did. Samoa Joe and Wardlow had a promo off this week on Rampage. I loved this from Joe. This was one of the better things Joe has done on the microphone since being in AEW. So intense. It's the Joe that I expected. And I loved it. Moxley was also on the mic after having an earectomy. Okay, between Max and MJF and Ricky Starks and Samoa Joe and CM Punk, even if he comes back or doesn't come back, Christian Cage, Eddie Kingston, I'm probably forgetting people right now. Tyler, who's the best promo in AEW right now and why?
Has to be MJF. He's, I think one could argue his shtick perhaps becomes a bit repetitive. Oh, I have the big belt, 2024, so on and so forth. But to me, like you said, all of those people hit home runs consistently. Who, when they are at their best, right, peak of their powers, who am I taking? It has to be Max. I think he's just, you presented me with some really great names. I think Max is still arguably in a class of his own. When he's at the peak of his powers, when he's just the best he can be, I think he's still, it's his throne in AEW. Ricky's awesome. Mox is awesome. I love that Joe was getting some of his magic back. I think it started maybe with the Darby match, maybe before. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like he's really unlocked something that feels like we're getting Joe from ROH or Impact days.
Yeah.
MJF, though, is the answer for me. I love Ricky. I love the people you mentioned. I think Britt deserves more credit than she's given on the mic. I actually really, really enjoy her work. But Max is the person for me. Agree or disagree?
It's hard to disagree. Bryan Danielson you could put in there too. Yeah. And I mean, there's just so many people that you could put on that list on this.
Jungle Boy's getting better. He's not at the top of the top yet, but
I wouldn't put him on that list, but he's definitely getting better. Yeah. Yeah. He's getting consistently better. Wardlow is
Hook, maybe not so much yet, but
actually
Jungle Hook.
Man. Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Continue. Yes. So good.
Danhausen is really good with his promo work.
Yes.
Right? Like
you put me on to him. Absolutely.
It's indisputable that he's really good at what he does for that character.
Great signing. Yep.
MJF, probably yes. I'm waiting for the Samoa Joe MJF program to say definitively that needs to happen before Joe retires. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. Otherwise, I'd probably say Punk is up there with him, but I don't know if you consider him. He's not officially released. No. My guess is that they're just going to keep him until he's healed and then make a decision from there, from that point. I truly hope that he comes back. I really want to see him back in AEW. He helps AEW, like him or not. He's a draw, but he's really good on the mic. So I think I'm going to go with you and say MJF for now. But Samoa Joe may have convinced me otherwise. I need to see this Samoa Joe and MJF because he's really good at doing the audible. You remember like the Brock Lesnar moment in, I think it was for the Rumble build up, where Lesnar stepped up and he basically told him, "Don't look at me like that, step back or you're going to act, I'm actually going to punch you in the face," or whatever he said. And the whole crowd was like, "Holy shit, what just happened?" That was all improv. And I think that he could probably do it with the best of them. And I would love to see MJF and Joe go at it on the microphone.
I so agree with you. I can't believe we live in a world where we really did see Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. I forgot about I think it was Great Balls of Fire.
That's right.
Don't quote me on the year, but that was a dream match for me. I know back then. Yeah, Joe, I mean, dude was, speaking of our Miracle on 34th Street Fight series that we've released, Brad, Joe was a commentator on Raw, right? Yeah. So he, of course, he's a worker first and foremost, but this dude also talked and talks for a living. Max versus Joe, promo match. I agree with you. I hope we see that in 2023. It would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be incredible, right? I think it's going to happen. I hope it's going to happen.
Has to.
There's a lot of things I hope are going to happen, but it seems like every time we talk about it, it's like, I hope this happens.
Yeah. Even your man, Dax Harwood,
Oh,
He's had some great promos this year. I know he will be a name that we feature prominently in our end of the year conversation. I'm
yeah.
certain of that.
Cash is not at the same level of promo as Dax, but Cash had a good promo this week. The Dax thing got me. The story about his daughter saying he thought she was gonna say you had a great match, but instead of like he said, wow, the people really like you. Why? That popped me because that absolutely feels like something Freya would say.
Yes.
Grateful that he gets to talk about his daughter on TV, and Tyler, I have a feeling that both of us have some things we can share that we're grateful for as well. It's time for a GI moment of gratitude.
And now it's time for a little self-reflection. So, think about yourselves. Or something.
Gratitude, yeah, man. I mean, we've spoken about it at length. I know one could argue Christmas is pretty commercialized, but it's just so nice to have a time when you can reach out to people you love and care about, and if you feel inclined to give them something to show your love for them. Obviously, in our Miracle on 34th Street Fight series, we spotlighted charities, so I love that. I think people tend to feel very philanthropic this time of year. So grateful for you, for the fam, for friends, for health. And also, although silly, I mean this with all of my heart, I am grateful to have discovered beanies, Brad. If you know me, you know that I'm a pretty solid like ball cap guy.
Yeah.
Every month of the year, really. But recently I've unlocked my beanie style. For a while, I didn't know the proper way to wear it. It's like, do you cover your whole ear, half a ear? Do you not cover any ear at all when you're wearing it? But speaking of graduation, I wore my Phoenix Mercury beanie to graduation because we had to be there at like 7 a.m. It was dark. It was cold. Tempe is a 45-minute drive for me where their main campus is. And I wore my Mercury beanie and I received a compliment or two. So I thought, oh my gosh, like, Brad, I did it. And I'd even YouTube tutorial this. I just put it on. I covered some of the ear. And I guess it's socially acceptable. So I'm grateful for you, the fam, for GI, for our listeners, our viewers, but also grateful for unlocking this beanie era of my life as well. I mean it too, honestly. I'm so excited about it. I have two.
Great. I do not, but I do like a nice hat. The louder, the better, with a tassel on top. I love the ball on top. For whatever reason, it makes sense for me. And I'm not talking about the Santa hat that I wore yesterday, but I in particular, I love this black and white Tucson Roadrunners hat that I bought in 2018. Love that thing. Don't get to wear it very often out here. But when I do, I'm always grateful that I get to do it. Yeah, I'm like you. I'm so grateful for family. I'm so grateful for our health. I love this time of year. I love that we have a platform where we can sit down and go, yes, please go support these charities. Yes, go donate your time, your money. I think it's so important that we give back. One of the things that I'm most proud of this year is we do a canned food drive at the school every year. And every year as a carrot, I always say, like, you can opt out of the final. Well, not opt out of the final, but get 100% on the final. And if your class brings 400 donations. So some of the classes I had to bring down. Freshmen aren't getting 400, except they did this time. And I was shocked. My freshman health class, not so much. They needed to get 200. I think I've dropped it down to. They got 38. Everybody else met their goal. So I'm giving one final this year for a grade. The rest of them, it's essentially extra credit. They're still taking their final. But the grand total this year was 2,700 donations. And I think the most I've ever had before that was 2,200. And I'm just really grateful that we're able to give back in a small way to the food bank, to the local food bank, and help people that are in need. Did they do it for reasons that have nothing to do with altruism? Yes, they were absolutely helping themselves. So what? They donated. The stuff's going to a good cause. That's all I care about. I don't care about winning a competition for who had the most cans, but I will absolutely let somebody know if they start bragging when I removed myself from the competition. I will let them know how many we had, because last year there were around 4,800 donations and 2 to 2,400 of those were mine, and I got to let them know, but I don't want to be rewarded for it. In fact, I'm more appreciative if they don't know where it's coming from. I'm a big believer in that, and I'm grateful that I have a platform there to do that. I have a platform here to share that, and hopefully this encourages somebody to go out to help somebody today, even if it's that I'm gonna give that dollar to that checkout gimmick when you're going out of Safeway or Fry's, or if you're in the Midwest, if you're leaving a Cops or a Piggly Wiggly. Donate that dollar to a food bank or to St. Jude or whatever it is. We really appreciate that. I'm just so happy that we have that platform. As always, also grateful for you, for GI, for 19 Media. But especially this time of year, I'm grateful that we have that platform.
Absolutely. So well said. I have some regret, I must confess, I was at Goodwill yesterday. I actually bought a few items. It was a pretty successful trip. And the cashier asked me at the end if I wanted to donate. I forget what she said, which organization. I didn't really compute it, but I could either round up or donate $1, Brad. And for whatever reason, I chose to round up, but it only ended up being like 28 cents. So I thought to myself, okay, I don't know how much of an impact my 28 cents is going to make. But like you said, I just feel grateful knowing that there are these people doing such great work with these organizations. And again, if you, myself, or our listeners and viewers have the resources to contribute and feel moved to contribute, I think it's also a blessing to be in a position where you have some of that, what do they call it, discretionary income, where you feel like, okay, I can supply this aid. And then finally, I think the holidays can be a really trying time for many as well, due to losses in family or myriad reasons. So certainly, if you're hearing this and this description kind of fits your situation at the moment, obviously Brad and I are here separately together to always be an ear for you. So we're so grateful for you. We hope you're doing well. You and yours are doing well. And if not, know that we're just a tweet or a call away.
Absolutely. Tyler, what are you looking forward to this week? I think I know.
It's a 4-day work week. So we're going Monday through Thursday. I don't mean to make you jealous, but the bosses at the job approved the team to work from home this week.
Nice.
Which I was not. Yeah, this is my flex. I'm just flexing everywhere, man. The beanies, the work from home, WFH, as they call it. That was unexpected. I thought I was going to have to go in the office, but we got that approved. So it should be a relatively easy week for me in that regard, in terms of not commuting, but a lot of work to be done before we have Friday off. We have Friday and Monday off, actually. But yeah, a lot of work to be done, but looking forward to that 4-day week. Obviously, there's sports and wrestling and TV galore everywhere.
Yes.
But very excited to get to Christmas. And then finally, before Christmas, my mother's birthday is Christmas Eve. Nice. So I am, of course, excited to celebrate her. And I just think it should be a really, really joyous occasion. How about yourself?
I mean, Christmas. I don't have anything to add there. I'm pumped. Yeah, I suppose I could say it's the end of the work week. We're headed into a 2-week break, a much needed 2-week break, a break from COVID and RSV and the flu and mouse poop. Ready to just ride out at the house and relax, get some stuff done. I'm excited to build a few things. I'm excited to finish a few projects here and there, but mostly I'm just excited to have time with Freya and with Jess and just have a nice, enjoyable break and nice, enjoyable Christmas. I think it's gonna rule. I can't wait. I also can't wait to open my damn gifts, man. Like I don't know what I'm getting. I sent out some stuff, and the last thing I'll say is I do want to say I'm looking forward to having a day off. We want to thank you for listening, for tuning in. We've never taken a day off. We have recorded through everything. Even if we knew we weren't going to be able to record on our normal Sunday, we've done it through funerals, through illnesses, through just really difficult, busy life situations. We've been here.
Wi-Fi, right? Like
Wi-Fi,
it runs the gamut.
Yeah, it's technology,
absolutely.
Whatever. My computer petering out.
Yes.
There's so many reasons to have quit and to have stopped, and we haven't. we are taking Christmas, what is it? Post Christmas Day -1. We are taking that day off. That Monday will be devoid of a new episode, but we will be giving you content. Day 2 of our 8 Nights of Christmas, 8 Nights of Street Fights, will be releasing at the time that you hear this. And then on the Monday where we normally have our show, we'll have a compilation episode for you. So if you just want to listen to all of them, if you want to wait, you can listen to all of them and listen to them again in rapid succession if you would like to. We will have that for you, but we are going to take a week off from content, a much deserved week off. Tyler, you deserve the time. You deserve the break.
Oh, likewise, tenfold. I love everything we're doing here. It's been such a fun year. I'll save my reflective thoughts for our end of year episode. But yeah, second everything you said, man. I hope it's a joyous Christmas for you and yours. Obviously, please send my best to Freya and Jess. And I can't wait to meet up again with you for our next episode of GI.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, before we get out of here, the social plugs must happen. I implore you, or highly encourage you, to follow Brad on Twitter. He is at WindDuster. I am at Tyler J. McDowell. We are at GIPod19. Of course, follow the team. Check out the roster at 19M Group on Twitter. Again, we are so grateful you are here. We are wishing you the merriest of Christmas, and we hope you'll join us for the next episode. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Good Pods, our premier partners, and Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.